international shall be the human race. Boom, boom. That's my jazz too.
The words that this will be the last battle, the last war, something so many people have wished and has not come to life yet. Many times when I sang this song, I really hoped, I really believed that there would be a time that there would be no wars. That's something maybe when we were young we could sing without thinking twice.
Вставай, Сибирью закаленный, о верный сын большевиков. You know, this song reminds me of my childhood, when we believe in the words of International. And you can understand me when we remind of our childhood. It's very important for our heart. That is why when I hear now International, I feel the beautiful melody again and again. But I feel the tragedy too. The tragedy of my father. He was a communist, and when he was very young, he believed in this, but he understood that all this story, this is a false story. And he told me about it. That is why when I hear now International, the International, my feelings is very complicated. I feel in this my childhood, but I feel in it the tragedy of all our life.
The tragedy is that people who sang the International went in 1936 to Spain, and many have given their lives. The tragedy is that the people who were in power in Russia, in the Soviet Union, were not worthy of the cause that people gave their lives to. I know that it's almost a mission impossible to try to teach younger people all over the world something about a time that workers all over the world really believed that they could stretch out their hands to one another and work together for a better world.
Arise, ye prisoners of starvation, arise, ye wretched of the earth, for justice.
The first time I heard it, I was thinking to myself, this is kind of corny. We have a group song, you know, that's the first thing that went through my mind. The second time I heard it, I heard the words and understood what was going on and what the thoughts were. And now when I hear it, I have 50 different images that run through my mind. I may be thinking about the Abraham Lincoln Brigades fighting fascists in Spain. I may be thinking about the people in Chiapas. I may be thinking about people in Virginia or elsewhere that are fighting for justice. That song, you know, gave them strength. It gave them a feeling of being connected with generations before them and with their brothers and sisters in other countries.
I don't think any students who sing Internationale on Tiananmen Square were thinking about communism or socialism. I think we're singing Internationale to reassure ourselves, to feel that we're a part of a greater, larger, perpetual human movement towards perfection. I never paid much attention to the word of Internationale, but the melody of the song always caused me into a very special mood. And for a long time, I was thinking what it is, and I think I sort of know it now. I think it captures the essence of the traditional Chinese thought, which is Confucianism, and their convictions of fighting for what you believed in. And if necessary, they also need to sacrifice themselves. And their sacrifice will be rewarded in history.
Let no one build walls to divide us, walls of hatred nor walls of stone. Come greet the dawn and stand beside us. We'll live together or we'll die alone.
I came to write a new version of the Internationale after being encouraged by Pete Seeger at the Vancouver Folk Festival. This was in 1989, just after the Tiananmen Square episode. And we were all aware that the Chinese students had sang the International in Tiananmen Square, and that's why he wanted to sing it at the folk festival. So I said, well, I'd love to come and sing with the people. I know the British lyrics, which are different, and also they're very archaic to sing. I mean, it is an old song, it's a very old song, but it's picked up a lot of baggage on the way. You know, the baggage of state communism. But I have argued with people that it's the baggage that we need to get rid of and not the actual spirit of the song itself. So with this idea, I wrote a few more verses.
Stand up, all victims of oppression, for the tyrants fear your might. Don't cling so hard to your possessions, for you have nothing if you have no rights. Let racist ignorance be ended.
I think we're at a time now in our politics where we in an interesting position where it's down to this generation to redefine what socialism and what communism means in a post-Marxist sense. And I think re-evaluating the old culture is important. And when we find something that still has meaning as almost as an icon, the Internationale, I think it's a good time to perhaps take it away from being an icon and put some new lyrics on it and see if it can translate into the 21st century.
Comrades, come rally, for this is the time and place. The international ideal unites the human race.
All one has to do is look around the world today at an economy that is in crisis everywhere in the world to know that those struggles haven't stopped, that the shape of those struggles